Come on and say it. Glad in it. That's it. Say it. I will rejoice and be glad. This is the day. Oh. Can you say it? This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has
It's more than music. It's ministry.
Portland Public, Atlantic City, and now on FM Translator 100.3 W262CF, Atlantic City, Pleasantville. Tune in to Kingdom Conversations with Reverend Collins A. Days of Second Baptist Church of Atlantic City. Mondays at 5 p.m. are not necessarily those of WEHA, Gospel 88.7 and 100.3 FM. We Have Gospel, Spread the Gospel Inc., or any of its sponsors. WEHA is a listener-supported radio station. To make a donation, call 609-641-8870. Visit our headquarters at 3 Canal Drive, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, 08234. Or log on to our website, wehavegospel.com.
We have gospel.
Just tune in. You're listening to In the Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon and First Lady Parrish right here on your two-time Stellar Award-winning gospel radio station, WEHA Gospel 88.7, 100.3 FM. We Have Gospel. This broadcast has been brought to you by the Hawks Family Businesses, who have been serving our community for over 40 years, and Beacon Hall, turning moments into memories. And certainly if you're looking for a venue to have an event, Beacon Hall is the place that you would like to go. You can call Monday through Friday, 609-641-8870, extension 2. Well, happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers. We are live in the studio today, and we have a wonderful show. Listen, tell somebody to click, like it, share it, and can hear about a grandmother's love. I want to read a poem and then give you a couple of announcements, and then we're going to go right into our show on today. A mother's love. No gift on earth is greater. No treasure held above. The joy that comes from knowing a mother's endless love. In spite of how it's tested, it grows from year to year, providing strength and comfort. It gently draws us near. It warms and it protects us and guides us from afar, shedding light upon us like a bright and shining star. And when all things are measured, no one shall rise above or be compared in value to a mother's endless love. Happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers out there in Radio Land. And on today, WEHA Gospel 88.7 and 100.3 FM. We'll be having a Mother's Day brunch, and it's going to be at 11 a.m. at the Beacon Hall, 243 South Lewis Avenue in Egg Harbor City, New Jersey. Is being hosted by our very own Elaine Lady Praise Hawks, our keynote speaker, Dr. Patrice Dawson, and there's going to be special musical tributes honoring the mothers. The donation is $30, and at this point, if you haven't paid online, just go to the door. I think they have a few seats left. And children 12 and under, it is $15 for them on today. So I'm going to be there too. So I'll be looking to see you at the Mother's Day brunch. All right, we got a few things that are going on. First, I want to talk about Mrs. Rita Mack. Her celebration of life services will be held on today, and it will be held at the Faith Baptist Church. And the viewing just started. It's from 9 to 11. And the service will be at 11 a.m. at Faith Baptist Church, 829 Tilton Road in Pleasantville, New Jersey. And certainly, I don't have to tell you all who knew Mrs. Mack what type of person she was, but she was very humble. She led with quiet strength, but made a very great impact in our region here. And her and her husband has done so many things and have supported so many people. So we want to give her that send-off that she rightfully deserves. So we want to be there to support Mr. Anthony Mack and her siblings, Ida, Barbara, and Sherry. We're praying for all of their friends and just for everybody. Faith Baptist Church, because her and her husband, they burnt the mortgage for Faith Baptist Church. So that's the type of people they were. And I loved Mrs. Mack. I cried. I really cried. And I told everybody on my Facebook page, live your life so somebody will cry when you die. you know, because people not crying, sometimes people don't even care that you done went somewhere. So if you owe somebody an apology, just give it to them, all right? Also, from the office of the Adjutant General, we lost another, Her Eminence, the Most Reverend Sharon Renee Robinson, Apostle Sharon Renee Robinson. She passed away on this week, and she's been down here so many times, New Shiloh Baptist, and for the women's conference. They honored her a couple of weeks ago. She wasn't there, but they honored her for her great work and the things that she has been doing. Her celebration of life service will be on next Saturday at 11 a.m. and is going to be convening at the Tabernacle Baptist Church, 150 East 2nd Street in Berlin, New Jersey. The celebrant will be Bishop Brandon A. Jacobs Sr. And this is just going to be very, very, it was very sad. And you know, death is a part of life, but it doesn't matter. You know it's a part of life, but when it happens, you're still sad, you know, that it does happen. So we're praying for Pastor Robinson's family, Apostle Shane Robinson's family and church, New Jerusalem Church. We're praying for them on today. All right? We're moving right along. Let me see what else is happening on today. Oh, I wanted everybody to know, well, before I tell y'all that, there's going to be an Oak Fest out at, now I have this right in the top so I can tell everybody about this. Okay, here it is. There's going to be an Oak Fest, Make a Difference, and then celebrate. Earth Day is better together. There's going to be an Oak Fest and an Earth celebration today at Oakcrest High School. And they started at 8 o'clock this morning. They've done a cleanup on Babcock Road and Atlantic Avenue. And then at 10 o'clock will be the Oak Fest from 10 to 2. And what they do, they have all kinds of vendors. You can go, they have shredding and all type of things that are for the environment. I went to something, and they had something that looked like a baseball that you put inside your dryer instead of putting the sheets, and it keeps that, it's all natural and keeps it from wrinkling. And I mean, I've just learned so much out there. It's very, very a good event, and they've been doing this for a number of years, and it's hosted by the Sustainable Green Team of Hamilton Township. And so you want to be there. They're going to have all type of vendors and resources. Also, the annual resource and carnival is today also at the Hess School. It's a family fun. They have over 50 resource tables there. It's a free event. And they're going to have a carnival, games, inflatable pony rides, raffles, musical activities, face painting, fun snacks, crafts, and prizes. And that's at the George L. Hess Educational Complex, 700 Babcock Road in Mays Landing, New Jersey. So that is on today as well. And I wanted everybody also to know that, and you may not, you may know that you may not, that the Atlantic County, they announced they're going to be selling the Melview, they're auctioning the Melview Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. And that's going to be they got a couple dates that they're going to do, I guess, like public hearings and whatnot, that they're going to, or auctions, not auctions. They're going to do a second hearing on June the 24th at 4 o'clock p.m. at the ACIT, Atlanta County Institute of Technology. They're doing an auction for a minimum bid of $23.5 million. You know, so from what I understood, I was at a meeting last night that whoever buys it has to keep the employees for 2 years. They can't get rid of the residents. And I did not know that's where the Meals on Wheels was being prepared. I did not know that. So those that are getting Meals on Wheels, that's where that, at that facility, that's where that's getting, that's where it's prepared. You know, I didn't know that. Not that I'm supposed to know everything, but I thought, I just didn't know that part. All right. Also, National Night Out is coming up, and that's going to be on August the 4th. And I will give you more information when it gets closer about National Night Out. But in Hamilton Township, they're going to be having it at the Lake Lenape. And they had it there last year, and it's beautiful on the water. We have so many beautiful parks out there in Hamilton Township. Also, and this will be it. No. On next Saturday, join the Armed Forces on May the 16th as the community prepares for Memorial Day. And what they're going to do is they're going to place flags on the graves of the veterans. All right, they're going to place flags, and it's going to be at 10 a.m. And they're meeting at the St. Vincent de Paul Church in the parking lot, 5201 Harding Highway, and they're going to be there to place flags on the veterans' graves. And Post 61 won't be doing it that day. They're going to do it on the 23rd, which is the following Saturday, for Lincoln Cemetery. I talked to Pat Tatum, and she told me that's when they would be doing, putting their flags out for all of the veterans. So I think that's very nice that they want to continue to honor the veterans who have paid the ultimate sacrifice, and some have just passed and didn't pay the ultimate sacrifice, but they still sacrifice protecting our country, you know. So I think it's very, very nice that that is being done. And if you want to go out there and assist, all you got to do is show up. I think they have about 1,500 graves at Holy Cross Cemetery. It's over 500 at Lincoln. But if you want to go and you want to participate, that would be something great that you can go out there and do. All right, again, happy Mother's Day to everybody. And now we are getting ready for our interview. And I can't say that you don't know this woman. This woman is an icon in Atlantic City. She does so much. And for years, Miss Pat McDaniel Tweedle, Mrs. Pat, Patricia McDaniel Tweedle, all right? Everybody calls her Pat. I thought, my daughter went to Venice Park School when I lived there, and she was there every day, and I thought she was an employee. And I found out later on that she was a volunteer. And she did, I don't know how many years she did that, but she did it for so many years. I'm not saying she's still not doing it because she can tell her own story. And I believe, are you the president of Connecting the Dots?
Yes.
She is the president of Connecting the Dots, and that is a initiative, nonprofit organization that goes around, and they do so many things in our community, and have been doing it for a long time. And I believe, I'm not sure, but they were one of the first organizations to do expungements. Right, because I went to it. Mm-hmm. Her brother, Vincent, who we call, is also known as Omar, we went to high school together, and we graduated high school together, and he does so much too. Also in our community, I believe he works with that organization, Connecting the Dots. So just in case you don't know who Mrs. Patricia Pat, a.k.a. Pat McDaniel Tweeter is. We want her to say something about herself.
You know, when you talk about Venice Park, and my grandson now is 35 years old, and I've been volunteering with especially MLK almost 35 years because that's where he went to school at.
Wow.
So that's where my volunteering started, and that's because I became a grandmother.
Ah.
I wanted to know what he was doing, how he was doing it, and who was involved in his lifestyle. So from that, I continued on doing other things. If I could do it for him, I included everybody's kids. So if my grandkid benefited from something, you best believe other kids benefited from it. So I've always been active in the city. That's just a part of giving back, because someone done for me what I'm doing for somebody else. And that's the way I feel about just volunteering. And if we can get more folks to come out, that'll be great.
Well, and so before we close out, we're going to talk about the things that you have coming up.
Okay.
For connecting the dots, all right, and things. And I think I went to a program you did last year at the Soldiers' Home, and I don't know what it was for.
That was that the dementia and Alzheimer's problem?
Dementia and Alzheimer's, and that was a beautiful event, and I learned a lot of information. So they put on excellent, superb events. And so if you hear of anything with Connecting the Dots, that's certainly a place that you may want to go and see. So now we're going to talk about a grandmother's love. Me and Miss Pat was talking about our grandchildren.
Oh, my God.
And the love that we have for our grandchildren.
Yes.
And so I said, you know what? I think that would be a good show for us to talk about. And so that's how that developed.
Yes, it was. We were supposed to have been having a meeting, but I don't even think we ever got to what we were supposed to be there for breakfast.
Right.
We ended up talking about our grandkids and how much we love them, and
Yeah.
it can be pains too. Oh, wait a minute, pains and along with their parents.
So how many grandchildren do you have?
I got 3 grandchildren, and I just became a great-grandmother of a set of twin boys. They were born premature, and one is home now.
Okay.
And the other one should be coming home pretty soon. So what spoiling that I have left from the grandkids, I can't wait to get to Florida and spoil those 2 great-grandsons.
Well, congratulations on your 2
Thank
great
you.
grands. So do you communicate with your grandchildren regularly, or how do you do?
Well, they would probably say I'm all up in their business. But that's just the fun of being a grandmother, and I have that right. Every morning I send them a text.
Oh.
Every morning I send them a text, a quote, or some kind of picture, even if it's just a picture of me, and say, I miss you. And I started that back when COVID came along. I realized I had one granddaughter in college, and I just felt that was something that was like during that stage, the mental health.
Right.
And I wanted, they were in Florida, and I wanted to really keep in touch. So, and I'm still doing it. So I sent this morning out, everybody got their message, and they better be listening to this show. and it's funny because I know they are, because they were calling me this morning, don't be talking about me. But you know, I stay in not just with my grandkids, but my nieces and nephews. We are a very close family,
Right.
very close.
And we were talking about that earlier. Years ago, family was everything.
That's it.
That's all you had, and you had each other.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I feel like we've lost something.
We really have. We really have.
Right.
You know, I grew up in the Stanley Home Village, and not only your family, but we became family, you know, with everybody. And I was, like I said to you this morning, as kids, we weren't even allowed to be angry, you know, with our sisters and brothers. So that bond is that closeness now. It's not like when we came up, but as a grandparent, even like with my granddaughter that just had the 2 boys, I know she's going to be a good mother.
Right.
She's learned from me, and she's learned from her mother.
Right.
And there's certain things like the stories that we tell,
Right.
the history of all my grandkids know the history of both sides of our family. And I still tell them, it's like, okay, my mom, you done told us that I don't know how many times, but I don't want you to forget it because I want you to tell your kids that.
Right.
And that's the only way that we're going to stay together. And that love part, that's the part. I know they love me and I love them.
Yes, there's nothing like a grandmother's love.
Oh my God!
When I was talking to people, they said they don't even recognize their parents when it came to the grandkids because it's totally different.
It really is. I mean, it's like I know my daughter when I had my first grandson, the grandson. I mean, it was like it was nobody but him and I.
Right.
We used to take road trips. He was sitting in the back seat of the car. And at that time, Barney was out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we learned, I love you. You love me. We're one happy family. And a great big hug and kiss from me to you. We sung that so much. And even right now, I find myself, if I have to, I had a couple tests, you go in the x-rays.
Right.
And I get paranoid, but that's the only thing that keeps me sane in there. I'll be humming and singing to myself.
Wow.
I can't carry a note, so somebody's going to be talking about me singing on this.
But that's okay. It's okay because
that's what I say.
Because that's what grandmothers do.
Oh, that's right. Everything I do is right.
Right.
As a grandparent, everything I do is right. Now, don't ask my daughter about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that because, sometimes we can cross the line and we don't want to. But we're going to talk about this for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What we want to know, why is it important? Why are grandparents important in a child's life?
I think, especially nowadays, parents are working so hard. You look at, some of them got 2, some of them got 2 and 3 jobs. So that's where the grandparent picks up. They don't have the time to sit down, I know, like I did with my grandkids, and tell them the history of their family or how their parents were raised or the things that we did, the trips that we took. So it's up to us as grandparents to remind to tell our grandkids what we did with their parents,
Right.
remind their parents also where they came from.
True.
And if they do, I know I used to say to myself, when I have kids, oh my God, I'm not going to do that. Nuh-uh. But I found myself repeating all the things that my mother did.
Mm-hmm.
And that made me who I am. So I know my grandkids are going to be okay because I repeated what my mother did. And even my grandmother, we used to go visit her in Virginia. I mean, that was the best thing. We were so special. And I used to always say, if I could be just half the grandmother that my grandmother was to me and my siblings, I got it made. I'm going to be in heaven. I got it made.
Okay. So I feel it's very important because there are a lot of grandparents. I don't think that, I know my mom and them had 6 kids,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they didn't do a bunch of babysitting.
Oh, no, that's off the table. All that, we can talk about that. That's off the table. You got to call me at least a day ahead of time because I have my own plans. Where you just don't pop up and just drop off and say, I'll be back. And you see, some of them, they say, I'll be back. Parents don't see them for 2 or 3 days. Oh, no.
That's a no-no.
That's a no-no, and I know how to say no. That's a no.
Right, so you got to tell, because grandparents have lives too. Everybody's not sitting in a rocking chair.
That's right. That is so true.
So you got to give the grandparents some time, in order to do. And then you have to remember that they're older.
Yeah.
And so it's important that some grandparents are passed on, so some kids don't know what a grandparent is, and then some are not able
right.
to do what they did when they were raising their children. And I had something on Facebook, and I meant to play it again. It said, thank God for your grandparents. They don't have to do anything.
That's it.
And if they do it, then I said, one guy was on there and he was saying that his mother didn't do nothing for his kids and all of that. And the guy said, she don't have to do nothing for your kids. Those are your kids.
That's so true.
And if they do something, it's great. I always told my daughter that me and your father are responsible for you.
Right.
Anything anybody else does is extra.
Extra. That's so true.
You don't depend on that. You know, you're our responsibility.
I know.
So
I look, even like with my grandkids, I'm still so much involved in their lives.
Right.
And let them miss 2 days of not calling or just checking in. Like I said, with the things that are going on nowadays,
Right.
you can go to the grocery store and anything can happen to you. You must check in. I need, just say hi and hang up.
Yeah, communication.
That's it.
Communication is right now. Now my grandsons, I have 4. The older 2, they like text. They don't really like.
Yeah.
Because if I call, they will pick up. But they prefer.
Yeah.
For me to text.
Yeah.
And so, and that's how they like to communicate.
Now, and I'm getting pretty good at my texting. I'm getting pretty fast when I text too, because sometimes I would text something, and it would take the longest time. You could see them trying to text back. In other words, what's taking you so long? All you're gonna do is say hi. But even with the new with communication and this technology and stuff now, as a grandparent, I know I want to be involved in their lives, so I have to learn things that ordinarily, if I didn't have grandkids, I wouldn't even try to find out how to do it on the computer and all that stuff. And so even with this group of the 2 grandsons, great-grandsons, what is it, chat time?
Yeah.
I know how to do all that. Now, he's only 8 months old now, but when we on the chat, he knows my voice.
Wow.
He goes jumping up, so when I do get to Florida, he'll know who I am.
Wow.
He'll know who I am.
Because he recognizes the voice. And so that's important that we stay involved in our grandkids' lives. But sometimes, how did you learn how to back off?
Girl, that was the hardest thing. Anybody know me, I like to be in control. But over the years, I've learned that to keep my sanity and my peace and to enjoy what I like to enjoy, I had to move back.
Right.
Sometimes move way back. Because it's going to work out.
True.
Because if you raise them the way that you thought you raised them, it's going to work out.
It's going to work out.
It's definitely going to work out. It's going to take longer.
Right.
Because they're not taking your advice.
Right. They're going to do things the way they want to do.
That's it. And that's okay.
That's okay.
If they want to go the long way, that's okay. You're just trying to tell them the short way.
Right.
They don't want the short way.
No.
So I just, we just back up off of them. And they'll get it. Even the grandkids. The parents, I know. The same thing with my daughter. Same thing. You had to back up.
Right.
And then they'll come right around.
That's hard, though, Miss Pat.
It's more than hard. Like I said, sometimes it's like I need to tape my mouth when you see them coming.
Right.
So I don't know if I'm going to say something, but you're going to, so you just pray, and God gives you that strength, and you keep your mouth shut. And when they leave, oh, my God.
Well, hold on. We'll be right back. We got a commercial break.
You can call our business office at 609-641-8870 for further details.
Imagine if I told you that an earthquake was going to hit tomorrow right where you live. That it would be 6.5 in magnitude with aftershocks occurring twice 25 minutes apart. You'd no doubt talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you an earthquake will happen tomorrow. But what if it does? Shouldn't you have a plan? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait.
Hawks, a name that has been trusted for almost 30 years in the janitorial services industry, is proud to present Hawks Professional Moving Services. Fully insured, local and long distance, packing services, commercial and residential, no job too small or too large, friendly and reliable services. For more information or a free estimate, 609-484-0452. Hawks Professional Moving Services, where we treat your belongings like our own.
Hi, Mom. Is Claire's birthday party today? Me again, Mom. Where did I put my history book? Hi. Sorry, forgot one last thing. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate. At school, I start looking out the window, and then I forget what I was supposed to be thinking about. I know it seems like I don't care, but I do. It's just difficult for me. Love you, Mom. Bye.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Please
Brought to you
join
by
the Atlantic City
understood.org
branch of
and
the
Ad Council.
NAACP every Tuesday from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. for your NAACP Speaks, hosted by Branch President Kaleem Shabazz, right here on Gospel 88.7 and 100.3 FM WEHA.
Mark your calendars for a heartwarming celebration this Mother's Day.
Join us on Saturday, May 9th at 11 a.m. for the annual WEHA Mother's Day Brunch.
Held at Beacon Hall, 243 St. Louis Avenue, Egg Harbor City, New Jersey. This year, we are thrilled to have Lady Praise as our fabulous host, bringing her energy and warmth to make this event unforgettable.
And that's not all. Our inspirational keynote speaker will be Dr. Patrice Dawson.
She will uplift and inspire us all with her powerful message. Gather your family and friends to honor the incredible mothers in our lives with good food, special musical guests, great company, and a beautiful atmosphere.
Tickets are going fast at $30 for adults and $15 for ages 12 and under. So get yours today.
For more information and to get your tickets, visit our Facebook page or our website or call us at 609-641-8870, extension 2.
Please join the Atlantic City branch of the NAACP every Tuesday from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. for your NAACP Speaks, hosted by Branch President Kaleem Shabazz, right here on Gospel 88.7 and 100.3 FM WEHA.
Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon and First Lady Parrish right here on your two-time Stellar Award-winning gospel radio station, WEHA Gospel 88.7, 100.3 FM. We have gospel. We are live in the studio today, and we are talking about a grandmother's love. And so I just want to give a shout out, as we always do, for people who are online watching us. For the ones that I see and those that I don't see, we want to thank you for tuning into our show today. Grace Crump Holly, she said good morning. Deborah Dozier, she said happy Mother's Day. Dr. Witherspoon, Lady Parrish, and to Miss Tweedle as well. Happy Mother's Day. Rose, to all of the listeners, always a listeners. Yes, you are, and you are supported. Thank you. Terry Bethia, she tuned in today and said, happy Mother's Day, ladies. Russell Oatman, praise the Lord and good morning, radio family. Judith Chamberlain Walton, grand rising, everyone, to all the mothers. Hope your Mother's Day is extremely special, a joyful one. Donna McClary is watching us on today. So thank you so much for tuning into our show. And we're going to go right back into our conversation with Mrs. Patricia, a.k.a. Pat McDaniel Tweedle. And we're talking about a grandmother's love. And we were ended on, sometimes you got to back off.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, with your kids.
Yeah, and that's one of the hardest things to do. I know I've had to do it.
Right, me too.
I know I had to do it, and it made her stronger. It made my daughter stronger.
Right.
I think sometimes we think that they don't understand or they don't know how to solve a problem.
Right. So
So we jump in to try to help them.
Right.
And she's probably saying, "No, she didn't just say that." But we jump in to try to help them because we don't want them to go through things that maybe we went through,
right,
or we seen someone else. And I found out. It took me a long time to find out.
Right.
And her and I might have disagreed on different things, but that's just a part of life.
Right.
And that's what families are supposed to do. You're supposed to jump in.
Right.
You're supposed to know when to back out.
Right.
But, sometimes it takes us a little longer backing out, and it makes them a better parent, and it makes us a better grandparent, because what we learned from doing with our children, a lot of things I don't do with my great grandkids. I try to my grandkids. I try to keep my mouth shut a little bit.
But in other words, mind your business.
Yeah, mind my business. Mind my business. I love that. Yeah, try to mind my business. And like I said, if you know me, that's a little. When it comes to my grandkids and my kids, that's a little hard to do.
Right.
But they know I do it in love.
Right.
In love, and we're still here.
Right.
And surviving,
Still surviving and still here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're out there and you're a grandparent and you love your grandkids, you know you raised your kids right.
That's it.
So you have to learn how to back off and let them make the decisions. And then if they come to you, then we give the advice, right?
And you know what's so great sometimes when you back off and you see that what you done said to them, it's happening.
Right.
And they are hoping that you don't come and say,
yeah,
I told you so.
Right.
But it's not a I told you so situation.
No.
That's something that you just say to yourself, I know I raised my daughter right, or I raised my son right.
Right.
Because you see them doing exactly what you would have done anyhow.
You know what? And I used to tell my daughter all the time, I said, I want to live a long time. But if I don't, I'm not worried about you taking care of yourself.
That's it.
I know you know how to.
That's the if you can keep that in the back of your head,
right,
when you're raising your kids, that if something should happen to you, they'll be fine.
Right.
They will definitely be fine. And I think that was one of the ways that I cope with keeping my mouth shut.
Right.
Because if they don't learn,
right,
nobody else is going to tell them or help them.
No. And nobody's going to love your family and grandkids like you do.
That's it.
You know, so
yeah.
I don't get upset. I was, when I was a little younger, I was at everything they did.
Oh, my God.
Every game, every track. Then I learned about track was an all-day affair. It wasn't like football.
Yeah. Thank you.
Your football was a couple hours and you were done for the day. But track is all day.
All day.
You know, and my daughter has a tent and she got a cooler. And, you know, so I said, well, what time is this over? Well, they're going to be competing. They're going to be running this race at this particular time. So you want them to see you while they're running, you know.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I did that with the older two. And I don't love the younger two any less, but I don't have the same energy.
Yes, that's it.
That I had with the older two.
That's it. And then, you know, what's so funny, when they get to the point, if they're arguing among each other, it's like, my mom likes you better than you. She likes me. Oh, yeah, I used to tell them all, I don't like y'all any different. I love you. But I'm not going. There's certain things that, you know, we don't put up with, and
right.
And it's just like those conversations. I used to hear them talking about if they spend the night over.
Right.
She did this for you. She didn't do. We have to learn the child is an individual, especially if you have more than one grandchild.
Right.
You can't treat them all the same.
Right.
And you can't do the same thing for all of them, because it's like, and they take it as, oh, she did this, but she didn't do this for me. Sometimes that doesn't mean that you don't love them. It just means that you know who they are. And this particular child, you might have to treat a little different than you treat the other ones.
That's true. So how can grandparents put confidence in their grandkids?
Oh my God, that's. I think just by them having the kind of parents that they have, because especially if you done raised them,
right,
raised their parent, you know that your child has it, and as a grandparent, the confidence. I sometimes see certain things and you'll say, "Oh my God, no, this is." You just got to stay on them.
Right.
I think we have such strong values, my generation,
right,
that we pass it on to our children, and our children pass it on to their children.
Right.
So the confidence part, with my 3 grandkids, I've never, if anything, I say they're a little overconfident.
Right.
You know, it's because of the 2 generations of being confident and doing things certain ways that that have made them confident that they know that they can do it, and don't let me see that you act like you can't do it.
Right.
Then we have a problem. That's a whole nother story right there. No, we're going to talk about this here.
Yeah, because you listen, you come from the McDaniel Tweedle family, and anything we put our mind to, we can do it. So you with us? You can do whatever you put your mind to.
My niece sent me, Isla sent me a message this morning, and on the message it says something about, yeah, because we're the McDaniel clan. So they all know that certain things, we're just automatically going to get it done.
Right.
We set our mind to it, so don't say I can't.
Right.
There's no such thing as I can't. That's not in our vocabulary.
Exactly, because with my parents, my dad had a saying, well, I can't do. He said, make it work.
That's it.
You had to figure it out.
That's right.
And make it work. And our kids and grandkids have to figure it out.
That's it.
And make it work. And sometimes we don't always agree with their decisions.
Right, that's true.
You know, but I've learned that you have to respect their decision, although you don't agree with the decision. And I always pray for my grandkids, my daughter and my grandkids. I pray for them all the time.
Yes.
That God gives them favor and, protect them and, all of that.
All of that. And you know what? When I was younger and the kids were much younger, the first thing I always wondered if something were to happen to me,
right,
who would take my kids?
Right.
And you want to put things in place, and this is what I'm encouraging parents of nowadays. Because things happen.
Right.
And you want someone to, if something were to happen to you, who would actually take care of your kids so that, and give them the same values that you have. And, we don't address a lot of issues. We act like we're going to be here for a lifetime. I used to say, if I can make it to 40, I'll be doing just fine. Then I made it to 40. Well, if I can make it to 50, then I made 50. Now, if I can make it, now I'm past the 70 stage, so it's almost like I done what I wanted to do.
Right.
So I see the road has been laid, and I don't have to worry now. I'm good. If something would happen to me now.
Right, and I think that grandparents also need to take some time, and mothers. This is Mother's Day. Take some time for yourself. I've seen down south and up here where grandparents have raised their kids, then all of their grandkids, and all of
some of them raised their
great-grandchildren.
Yes.
At what point are you going to enjoy your life?
Yeah, and that's so important. My job was to raise my kids.
Right.
I wasn't raising no grandkids or great grandkids, not unless I had to. So I had to make our kids strong enough to realize that that's your responsibility. But it's not easy, and I like I said, I just thank God that I've been blessed with beautiful grandkids. My daughter did a beautiful job raising us, so I want to say Happy Mother's Day to you.
Yes.
So I'm saying it on radio now. You did a darn good job in raising my grandkids. And I look at my granddaughter now. She got a set of twins, and I know she's going to be a good grandmother. She's going to be a good mother to those my great grandkids.
I tell my daughter that too. I said, you've done a good job with your sons.
Yeah.
And she would tell them, I'm not riding no man around, so y'all need to get your driver's license.
Okay.
And my grandsons have their driver's license and things of that nature, and I was like, okay. At first, I thought it was a little tough. They said, I got somewhere to go. She said, you're 18, you need to get your driver's license.
That's right.
And they got their driver's license.
And you know what's so funny about that? When all of my grandkids, when it was time for graduation, I used to say to them, when they put that diploma in your hand, I no longer pick you up, drop you off. Don't ask me to do this. I gave them a list of the don'ts. And they like, well, darn, just because I got a diploma from high school here, because I haven't done my job.
Right.
And now my job is to be a little more freer, and we're going to enjoy each other a little more. I don't have to run and drop you off and pick you up.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Those are days. Yeah. That's over.
That's it. That is totally it.
What advice would you give to new parents about family bonds for new parents?
my God. I'm going to say, like with me, my grandmother, the bond that her and my siblings and we had, it's sort of hard now. You have to make it work.
Right.
You have to make it work. You have to sometimes sit down and realize that these kids are. That's a hard question.
Yeah.
That bonding. That's something to me it's like going to work. That's a job right there.
Right.
You have to create that bond
Right.
and make sure it works. You got to make sure that they know that you love them, even if you got to tell them every day. I don't have a problem saying I love you. There's people that don't know how to say I love you.
And sometimes kids think you don't love them.
Yeah, they really do.
You're right, because you don't say it.
Yeah.
And then in my dad's generation, they didn't say that all the time. The way they showed the love for us is they provided.
That's it.
They had we had a place to stay. We had food on the table.
Mm-hmm.
We had clothes on our back. And as the generations come along, then they have different phrases. You need to tell your children you love them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, my parents told us that they loved them, but it wasn't all the time.
Right.
You knew they loved you by what they did for you.
Yeah. And my mom was the same way. My dad would tell us all the time he loved us. There was freely. That's because he was raised different. He left home at a young age, and my mother was raised in Virginia in a I think it was like 6 of them too, but it was totally different back then. And I'll never forget. I think it might have been a Mother's Day or one of them holidays, because I always cooked dinner and she would come over and things like that. And I said, Mom, starting today, you're going to pick up that phone and call me and say I love you.
Right.
Now, if it's hard, just pick it up and say I love you and then hang up.
Did she do it?
Yes, she did.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, then she tell me I love you. Then I'm saying,
what's wrong with you?
like something's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, but her generation, my mother's generation, didn't know how to, it's not that they didn't know how to, they knew that they were loved.
Right.
I don't know if they just felt that they didn't have to say it. And I think my siblings and my dad always telling us I love you. He might just walk past and say I love you, girl, and keep on going.
Right.
But it meant a lot.
It meant a lot.
It really did. So even if you just say to a child once a day I love you,
right,
then you'll find yourself saying it all the time.
Right.
And they're like, okay, I know you love me. You don't have to say it no more. So you can't win all the time.
No, you cannot.
You cannot win. It's really not a winning situation too.
Right, and it's creating those bonds that the grandparents said with boundaries.
That's it.
boundaries.
There's certain things that one of the things is when you walk into the house, you coming in, so you're supposed to say hi to whoever's in
You're
there.
supposed to speak.
My grandkids, I think sometimes they thought that didn't apply to them, so it was automatically like, okay, turn around, go back out.
Right.
And if you can't come back in and speak first, then go back home.
Right, but see, those are the type of things that grandchildren need to be taught. Children need to be taught, because it's a different generation.
Mm-hmm. It totally is, and
right, totally different.
I have a book that and then maybe 2027 I'm going to really get it going. When my grandkids were coming up, and all three of them are in this book, and it's about the you could say lies, or about the stories that they, how they come home and tell you this, and good and well they were telling a story about something that happened.
Right.
Now, the youngest one, she comes in the house, over my house after school, and she just walks in, and me and my girlfriend sitting there, and she ain't speaking.
Right.
So now I had an attitude. So I'm like, wait a minute, to my girlfriend, hold on a minute. I says, you didn't stay here yesterday, so you shouldn't be mad at me.
Right, right.
So she's looking at me like I have a problem. So
right.
I says, did you speak? And she's like, yeah, no you didn't.
Right.
So I said, so what's the problem? So she says to me, she starts telling me about a kid in her classroom, and the kid sneaks and this, and she's telling me all this here mess. And I'm like, what does that has to do with you coming in here speaking? I said, so I tell you what, turn around, go out and go home.
Right.
So all the little, you know how the things kids tell you, and you know they how do they come up with it? But I find out that a lot of parents fell for all that.
That's true.
Grandparents didn't fall. They would stop you right in the middle of a lie.
Say stop lying.
Yeah. And so I would, I got something about all three of them in the book.
Right.
And as they have gotten older, even my granddaughter Raina, I gave her the book one time. It was like a couple of years ago, and she's in here cracking up. And I didn't say that. I said, "Oh, you think I just sit down and wrote lies?" But I'm going to change that book into what not to tell you, what lies not to tell your grandma.
Oh, now that's going to be a seller.
Yeah, that's going to be a seller. What lies, because they don't even realize that they were saying these things to me.
Right.
And I always say kids can go home and tell their parents some of these things, but a grandmother will stop you in right there. Don't tell me that lie. That don't even sound right.
Right. So, that's why a grandmother and grandfathers are so important in children's lives, and they take what you tell them. Mm-hmm. And it may not resonate with them in the beginning, but as they get older, they'll have, well, my grandmother said this, or my grandfather said this, or my mother said this, and I could see.
Yeah.
You know, but somebody got to teach them. If you don't teach them, then they're not going to know. We can love them, but we got to love them even if they're wrong. We got to still tell them when they're wrong now.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
That's so important. Because we all make mistakes.
We all do.
There's no book written about how to be a parent.
Right.
And definitely no book written about how to be a grandmother.
Right.
So I think once we have kids, we realize some of the mistakes that we might have made, and we correct it with our grandkids. We might go overboard with
Sometimes we do.
and they like, well, I couldn't get away with that. How did she just let him do that?
Right.
And I used to say, well, you know, I'm getting at that age now where I don't have time arguing the point, so let him go ahead and do it.
That child can never do no wrong. But it's not that. It's just the love that you have for your grandkids. What is the best part about being a grandparent?
Oh my God, it's like this morning. My grandson called me this morning. That's the joy of him when he calls me, or later on when my granddaughter calls. When they just pick up that phone and call you for no reason.
Right. They don't want nothing.
They don't want nothing. They just want to call and chit chat, and it's like some of the things that we do together, and you go back and you sit down and you think about, oh my God, we did this and we did that. And like I said, now at the age that I am now, I am so blessed that I got a chance to share so many things with my grandkids. And I look at my friends, I can say that we're all happy because of the way we did things.
Right.
The way we look at our grandkids, the way our grandkids respect us. So it's been a pleasure just being a grandmother.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
It really is. You know, sometimes there's no words for grandparents that love that you have for them, and the thing about it is they love you the same way.
They do.
They love you the same way.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
It really is.
It's really totally amazing, and I'm just so thankful that the Lord allowed me to be a grandparent. And I'm divorced, so I sometimes forget they got a grandfather.
Listen, even the Billy, I'm not divorced, but sometimes it's like it's me.
Right.
They're my
grandkids.
I'll say, you know, me and the grandkids or this or that, you know, and it's like, and I'll look at him, you want to go with us?
Right.
You know? But my grandkids are very fortunate to have a
great
grandfather.
Right.
A great family on both sides of our,
right.
families. You know, we all on both sides are very close. So my grandkids and also my great grandkids are very fortunate kids.
Right.
To have what they have, and even though they're in Florida, it was nothing for even with the grandkids. They had basketball games. They played basketball. I'd hop on a plane and fly down to Florida just for a basketball game.
And come back home.
And spend the weekend and come back home.
See, that's what grandparents do.
Yeah. So now with these great grandkids, I don't know at this age if I'm going to be hopping on a plane and fly, going down. And they're going to have maybe video, the chat thing or something like that they can do for me. Or do it live. So
Right. Well, thank God for modern technology.
Yes,
and like you said, you knew that you had to learn modern technology so you could keep up.
Yeah. And the thing about that is that I'd say, can you show me how to do this? I showed you that 5 times. Well, I'm just a little slower learning. And okay, I'm going to show you one more time, and this is it. And they know I'm going to come back and ask them.
Yeah, you got to have patience with your grandparents.
Yeah, that's it.
It takes me too long to text.
Oh, my God.
I was doing it, but they didn't. And I'm
that's it. That's the way. But I'm getting good.
I'm getting better.
I'm getting better. And it's like my oldest daughter is deaf, and I used to be able to sign real fast and stuff, but now the hands. She tells me to text. Just text the answer. Don't worry about signing it to her. Text it to her. And now with the technology with that,
right?
You hit it's a thing on the phone. When she's talking, or I'm talking, she can see what I'm saying.
It goes the captions.
Yeah, on the phone and everything.
Yeah.
So the technology is really good for certain things.
And I really enjoyed the part when you said, make sure that you have someone, because some people have kids that have special needs,
right,
and they don't have nothing in place.
That's it.
If something was to happen to you, who would take care of that child? Or the adult child, that they've grown up. So who would look after them? So
and that's one of the things. I'm very much involved with autism, and the thing with that is, a couple of years ago we met. I think it was twice. We had a lawyer come in and speak to parents about that, to address that issue. That's something that has to really be opened up for parents that have kids with special needs, because not only if something happened to you, they are going to get older.
That's true too.
And they need to have something in place for themselves.
Exactly. Listen, our time is almost over. Do you have the things that are coming up that we can share right quick?
Yeah, we're doing a 40-word challenge.
Okay.
And it's so good because I put it out there in March. Find 40 words that describe who you are. And you realize, and I was telling my friends, and they just can't seem to
get it.
40, why? I can't come up with 40. Yes, you can come up with 40 words. So what we're going to be doing with the 40-word challenge on May the 21st, I'll get the information. I think it's the Tennessee Bar Grill on Tennessee Avenue. We're going to meet there.
Okay.
And we're just going to sit, talk, chat, and discuss our 40 words that we found that describe us. And a friend of mine said to me, well, what about, can I put the word sad down? I said, you can put whatever words you want. I said, but see, I'm not claiming sad.
Right.
I'm not going to put it down, so I'm not going to claim it.
So you got the 40-word challenge.
We got the 40-word challenge. Caller, the scholarship lady will be doing a Zoom on May the 20th about finances for our kids going to college.
All right, so you